Hello Wolfpack, we're here, we're analysing Scale, SKL, and the question today, and I mean we've answered this question before with previous coins, I think Atom was the one we ddid, is will Scale pull a Solana? I think we should definitely make a playlist of some sort that has that same question, because a lot of these coins are looking very similar to what Solana looked like a few weeks ago, possibly a month ago. But what we are looking at, so we've got Skale here. It's a relatively new coin, just came onto the market in December, just like some of those Solana-like coins, just like the coin we analysed yesterday as well. So we've got, a pretty nice rounding out structure here on Skale. If we bring out the pen, we can see that a rounding out structure like this typically represents that the buying pressure is slowly slowing down and turning into, the selling pressure is slowly slowing down and turning into buying pressure in which the price rises. What we could actually draw here on Scale is a nice cup and handle formation. It wouldn't work particularly well with the handle. However, we can see that regardless of that, we are seeing a breakout of this said handle, and we are facing the first resistance zone, which is the 47-cent area. If we look at Scale on a larger scale, I guess you could say, we started off in December here at around 3 cents, ran up all the way to $1.27, which is a 32x from original prices. So Scale, made itself known in the market in a very short period of time. Only about 3 months it took for that run up of around 32x. That's what we typically see with newer coins. As I've explained in previous videos, the money cycle of cryptocurrency tends to go like this. The money starts off in newer coins, then it moves into larger caps, mid caps, low caps, and generally in each of those categories, the newer coins are the ones to pump first, as they are the ones with the most, brand new, innovative, stuff like that, and the older coins are the ones to pump last, because when the newer coins have already pumped, people look for things that are still on the ground, which tends to be the older coins. I'm not really sure why that is. I suppose people just like new things, just like they like, for example, the new iPhones, etc. But what we could say here on Scale is that we're probably going to be seeing a breakout of this 47-cent resistance in the coming day or two, especially in wake of the recent Bitcoin recovery, which we've got over here. We'll actually close that tab. We don't need that for this video. But 47 cents should be conquered easily, and then you can see that we'll probably be entering this range-bound construction region between 47 cents and 70 cents. The price wouldn't do anything like that. The point is this region is prone to bounces up and down. What we would be expecting, and the reason why I think 47 cents is going to break, is for multiple reasons. We'll bring up some indicators in a second, but what we can see if we zoom in quickly, we can see that we've tested this 47-cent region before. We got rejected, formed the top of this handle on the cup and handle formation, moved downwards a little bit, and then broke out. And usually the breakout lasts, we can just measure it here from the bottom of the cup. So this is a very rough estimate to the breakout point, which is around 23 cents. So we can measure that from the breakout point to around 23 cents. And we can see that we'll probably be going to around 62 cents. That's obviously a very rough estimate. But the point is, we've got a lot of room to move. That's 58% upwards from our breakout point and around 30% upwards from current prices. I could see that happening definitely, especially if Bitcoin recovers to 52k in the coming weeks, which it will, possibly not even weeks, possibly just in the coming week, due to the strength of the current breakout. We've got a bullish MACD cross coming in on Bitcoin, but Scale should be moving up as well. I do have a few problems with Scale that I'll bring up later in the video. It's very similar to the problems I had with GRT yesterday, as to why it might not pull quite the move Solana did, but it will go upwards substantially in my opinion. If we bring up some indicators, we can see in the 50 SMA and the 200-day SMA, we've had this bouncing between these two lines here. Well, actually, let me just remove everything on this chart, and we can see we've had this bouncing between these two lines here on the 50-day and 100-day SMA, 200-day SMA, and we're going to see a breakout to the upside. Usually, the longer the consolidation between 2 points, the higher the breakout goes, and I think that we will be seeing an extensive breakout, as suggested by the cup and handle formation all the way up to 63 cents. Seems logical to me. If we bring out the bull market support band, it's also suggesting this idea. We've found, if we zoom up, we've found a nice bottom from the bull market support band in which we've held it for support 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row, and we've built a nice base of support there from which we have a great opportunity to break upwards. And the Gaussian channel paints a similar message in which we have not dropped below that Gaussian channel at all. In fact, we're leveraging it as a bouncing zone, as you can see in this one daily candle close here. We've leveraged it as a bouncing zone, which is our first jump upwards. So I think that this is very much the start of a move for SKL, all the way up to around 63 cents, where we will be seeing that range bound construction. We can bring back all of our indicators now, and we can see that, you know, on a larger scale, I mean, our all-time highs at $1.27 is 63 cents is just a step in the right direction, but it's still very early in the cycle. I'm expecting altcoins to be running well into January. So if we draw a line as to how much time we have left, actually, we'll do this on the weekly chart because we'll get into our price predictions as well. We'll draw a line on January here, let's say mid-January, January the 17th. Let me get the vertical line out. We can see that we have a pretty extensive period of time left in the cycle. If we did something like this, you know, that would definitely play out. But we can bring in our price prediction now for SKL. I think it's going to go a lot higher than what I just drew. $1.27 was our all-time high for SKL. We don't have much data to kind of represent what is going on in this cycle so far because the coin is just so new. So a lot of our resistance zones and support zones are basically speculation based off only a few price points, whereas with coins like EOS and Bitcoin Cash, which are, you know, been around for a long time, actually particularly Litecoin would be a good example. It's been around for a long time, you know, just under a decade. So you get a long time of, you know, price action to discover what your true resistance zones and support zones actually are. SKL doesn't have that. You know, with newer coins, you risk basically the higher risk for the higher reward. You're risking with Solana, for example, a brand new coin, only came out last year. What you're risking is, you know, the fact that the coin's brand new. It might not actually take off, might not gather the traction it kind of needs. It's just like launching, you know, a new phone company. You know, it might not take off, but on the occasion that it does, it might be competing with, you know, the kings in the game, which is obviously like Samsung and Apple and stuff like that. So high risk, high reward. That's just what the game is all about. But what we can see is the all-time highs at $1.27. If we take, you know, a base kind of prediction, what we make on every coin that we don't really know what's going to happen, what we can assume is that Bitcoin reached a all-time high of 64K earlier this year. At the same time, Scale reached $1.27. All right, so if Bitcoin's going to reach my price prediction for this cycle, which is 120K to 150K, SKL is going to outperform Bitcoin by around 50 to 100%, which would put it at a price prediction of $3.80 to $4.45. That is my rough price prediction for SKL, and I'm going to show you a reason why I don't think that price prediction is actually low enough, because I've talked about this yesterday in the GRT video extensively, so it's kind of topical that I'm doing an SKL video today as well. Some of you might just remember this entirely, and it's kind of the same principle here. So what we have for SKL and what we have for a lot of the new coins in the market, and SKL seems particularly bad here, all right, is we have a very low circulating supply, but we have, you know, a massive amount of coins being put into circulation on a daily basis. And what we can actually see is that that's ruining the, you know, tokenomics of this coin. It's making the coin much harder to actually go up in value. So we can see here, we're on the price chart currently for SKL. So the price, obviously everyone knows what the price is, but the market cap chart is what I'm really interested in, because the market cap chart is a calculation of every single dollar that is in SKL, every single dollar that is wrapped up in SKL. All right, so you can see that there's not a correlation at all between, you know, the price chart here and the market cap chart. Basically, what this is telling us is that the market cap is almost at an all-time high. So if we were at the same kind of tokenomics, the same circulating supply as we had when we reached this all-time high in March, you know, SKL should actually be trading at $1.27 right now. But the fact is, it's trading at 47 cents. That's not because there's been more sellers. That's not because people have sold their coins. That's because people, you know, the developers, who owns the coin, has brought coins into circulation, hence devaluating, you know, the price of the coins. It's the same way with the Federal Reserve devaluating the US dollar, except, you know, it's a lot more innocent. It's probably planned and scheduled to be like this. But the point is, don't get wrapped up in assuming that SKL will easily get to its all-time high, because in fact, to get to its all-time high, I mean, it's at 40 cents now. Its all-time high is at $1.20. If we did some quick calculations, to get to its all-time high, Scale will need 3 times the amount of, you know, market cap to reach the all-time high that it reached in March now. So 3 times more market cap, 3 times the amount of money will need to be in Scale right now if it was to reach its all-time high. And this is, getting harder and harder by the day. Every day when new coins are brought into circulation, it's getting harder and harder to move the price. And in fact, the risk of coins like Scale, and the reason why I'm so stressed about it, and you can argue, Bitcoin does a similar thing. Bitcoin has, but the thing is, Bitcoin it's much slower now. When it was at the very start, when new coins are being brought into circulation constantly, that would have been a problem, of course. But it happened over a decade, and now there's only a very, very small amount of coins being brought into circulation, which will drain this sort of problem. But with Scale, it's happened very, very quickly. The coins only released in December. And we're already having drastic differences between the price and the market cap. So essentially, if I want to make a quick summary of what's happened, basically Scale is getting devaluated. And this is a problem with many, many new coins. People don't seem to look at it, right? Right now, we should be at all-time highs, but we're not because there's new coins in circulation. If you don't understand market cap fully, I highly, highly recommend you understand market cap and take the time to actually learn about it, because in my opinion, it's way more important than price. And the problem with Scale as well, another problem we have is that this is only 17% of the circulating supply. So the thing is, there's way more Scale to come into circulation here, which means this problem's only going to get worse and worse with time. And this leads me to believe that Scale is a short-term trade. It's not a long-term hold at all. I wouldn't be long-term holding a coin that is devaluating its own coins this much, especially in the early stages. If you come back to Scale in 4 years, when maybe this circulating supply, coins being released into circulation is slowed down drastically, yes, that might be a possibility. To look at long-term holding Scale if you really like the fundamentals. But right now, it's simply not logical to do that, because, for example, if you're trading at $2.70, so say for example, let me give a quick example here. I feel like this might be confusing to some people. Let's give a quick example. We're trading at $2.50. Just imagine we're trading at this red line here at $2.50. Okay, there's no new buyers and there's no new sellers. There's absolutely nothing happening. No one's buying or selling, but more coins are being brought into circulation. Naturally, the price of those coins is going to go down over time as more of them are brought into circulation. That is what's happening with Scale. Without even sellers, it is going down in price. The reason it's not actually going down right now is because there's more buyers to counteract, that devaluation, but it's getting harder and harder and harder to move the price up. So I would have to be moving my price prediction downwards, and it's actually impossible to say where I think Scale is going to go. I think that realistically, it could probably go to maybe $2. If this current market cap problem keeps up, maybe $2, because right now, even though $2 is only a 4x away in terms of market cap and in terms of how many coins they're bringing into circulation, that might be more like a 6 to 8x away from current prices, in terms of market cap. So I think it's risky. I think coins like this are risky, and I spoke about this extensively on GRT yesterday. But I still think it will go up in price. I still think the pattern looks nice. And here's another problem with the thing is, you might argue, okay, so why did Solana go up? Well, you look at the Solana price, okay, and you look at the market cap, exactly the same. They've had none of these drastic problems. You look at the Scale price once again, you look at the market cap. All right, it's very, very straightforward. I highly recommend you guys take the time to learn about it. Having moves like this, extensive moves upwards, we saw here in March, it's very unlikely to happen unless there is an absolutely, unprecedented amount of buying power that's coming into Scale, which is possible. It's 121 in the market cap ranking. It's possible, but I just don't think it's likely. That's all. So we can put that aside for a second. We put the price prediction aside. I still think short term will be going up to around 63 cents, as I said. I still think that, swing trading coins like this is not a problem at all. I just don't think you should be holding them for months and months on end, because you're naturally going to be, fighting against the tokenomics. What we can see on the Bitcoin chart, on the Bitcoin pair here, and it's very new, so there's not much to say about the Bitcoin pair, but we can see nice, we can see that we'll probably be going up in relation to Bitcoin, because first of all, we have a cup formation here. What did we see after that? We saw an upward spike. We have a cup formation here. What are we going to see after this? An upward spike. And what do we have to break here? Well, we have to break this black resistance line, which has been kind of holding us down for a few months here. And once we break above that, we can expect that we'll probably be making new all-time highs on the Bitcoin pair. So the Bitcoin pair looks good. Scale Bitcoin looks good, and there's no problem with investing in things like Scale Bitcoin. I think the USD pair, as I said, has some of its fundamental issues that makes it very, very hard for us to give an accurate price prediction. If Scale, attracts a massive amount of attention, it could certainly go very, very high, but I think that over the long term, it's going to be devalued until that circulating supply, releasing coins into the market slows down, drastically. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.